Uh, Good day, everyone. We're Group 4 from ME11S1. Today, we will be discussing our topic, which is global migration. Migration has always been a defining characteristic of human civilization. From the earliest movements of prehistoric people who crossed continents in search of food and shelter, to the large-scale labor migrations that fuel today's global economy. The act of relocating from one place to another remains one of humanity's most persistent patterns. In the 21st century, however, migration has taken on new meanings and dimensions. It is no longer a simple journey between two places. It has become a global system of interaction that connects communities, economies, and cultures across the world. According to the International Organization for Migration, there are now 281 million international migrants, roughly 3.6% of the world's population, living outside their country of birth. That number has tripled since 1970, when the global migration population was only about 84 million. These statistics remind us that migration is not a marginal phenomenon, but a core feature of globalization. Every minute, hundreds of people cross borders for work, study, safety, or family reunification. The United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs describes migration as the movement of persons from their people of usual residence, either within a country or across international borders, temporarily or permanently. When such movement involve crossing state boundaries, it becomes what we call global migration. Migrants may travel voluntarily in pursuit for better opportunities or be forced to move due to conflict, persecution, or environmental crisis. In both cases, migration is a human response to uneven development and changing the global conditions. One reason this topic is crucial in contemporary studies is that it links the local and global migration. Migration transforms the demographics of entire regions, influences labor markets, and shapes international relations. For instance, remittances, money sent home by migrants, now exceed $700 billion annually worldwide. These remittances help developing nations reduce poverty and finance education, healthcare, and small businesses. In the Philippines alone, overseas remittances accounted for about 9% of the national GDP in 2023, sustaining millions of households. However, migration is not purely an economic process. It also involves social adaptation and identity transformation. Migrants carry with them languages, customs, and traditions that merge with our influence those of the host country. Cities such as Toronto, Dubai, and Singapore demonstrate how migration can create multicultural environments where diversity becomes a normal part of daily life. At the same time, migration can generate social tension when rapid demographic change challenges existing norms or policies. From a historical standpoint, migration has shaped every major era of human development. The spread of Homo sapiens out of Africa about 60,000 years ago was the earliest example of global migration. During the age of exploration, from the 15th to the 17th centuries, European colonization and the Atlantic slave trade produced forced and voluntary migrations that changed continents forever. In the industrial period of the 19th and early 20th centuries, millions migrated from Europe to the Americas in search of work and land. Today, the digital age enables an even more complex mobility system, where people can apply for jobs overseas online and maintain daily contact with family through digital platforms. In essence, migration today is both a system and a driver for globalization. Economic inequality, political instability, environmental degradation, and the global demand for labor create continuous flows of people. These flows reshape not only individual destinies, but also national and regional dynamics. Countries like the Philippines, India, and Mexico rely heavily on migrant labor abroad, While nations such as the United States and Saudi Arabia and Germany depend on migrants to sustain their industries and services. But migration also presents policy changes. Governments must address questions such as how do we protect migrant workers' rights? How can societies integrate newcomers while preserving national identity? And how can nations balance the benefits of migration with the need for social cohesion? These are complex issues that make global migration one of the most debated topics in modern international relations. For the purpose of this report, we define global migration as the large-scale movement of people across international borders for economic, political, social, and environmental reasons, resulting in long-term changes in population, distribution, and cultural exchange. This definition highlights both the scale and transformative potential of migration. It is not merely about relocation, but about the circulation of skills, ideas, and capital that connects different parts of the world. The study of migration also requires an understanding of human motivation. People migrate because they seek to maximize opportunity and minimize risks. Economists explain it through wage differentials between countries. Sociologists focus on family ties and social networks. Political scientists emphasize governance and rights. Together, these perspectives show that migration is a multidimensional phenomenon that cannot be reduced to a single cause. Finally, migration carries an important moral and human dimension. Behind every statistic is a person, a student hoping for education, a worker striving to provide for family, or a refugee escaping danger. Their collective movements remind us that, despite borders, humanity shares a common desire for dignity and security. In summary, global migration is a central feature of our interconnected world. It reflects both the challenges in inequality and the opportunities of cooperation. Throughout this presentation, we will examine migration from multiple angles, the different types the different types it takes, the causes that drives it, the effects it produces, its relationship to globalization, and the trends that shape its future. With that overview, let us now move to the first major part of our discussion, the types of migration that exist in today's global society.
Thank you, very Carlos. Now that we have a clear understanding of what global migration is and why it matters, let us proceed to its types. Migration may appear to be a single act of moving from one place to another, but in reality, it occurs in many different forms. Each type is shaped by geography, purpose, duration, and circumstance. Understanding this distinction helps us analyze how and why people move, and what challenges or benefits accompany their journey. Scholars International Agencies. Sorry. Uh, Scholars and international agencies, such as International Organization for Migration, classify migration into several categories: internal and international, voluntary and forced, temporary and permanent, and in some cases, legal and irregular. These types often overlap, but examining them individually allows us to see the complexity of human mobility. Internal migration. The first and most common form is internal migration, which refers to movement within a single country's border. It involves people relocating from one region, city, or province to another. In developing countries, internal migration often takes form to rural to urban movement, when people leave agriculture areas to seek better job opportunities in cities. For example, in the Philippines, many individuals from provinces such as Leyte, Masbate, or Bukidnon to Metro Manila, Cebu, or Davao City in search of employment or education. The Philippine Statistics Authority reports that nearly 1 in 5 Filipinos has migrated internally at least once in their lifetime. This process contributes to urbanization, the expansion of cities and towns. Internal migrations boost economy activity, expand labor markets, and supports industrial growth. However, It also creates social challenges such as overcrowding, informal settlements, and unequal access to housing and sanitation. Urban planners describe this as a double-edged effect. Cities become engines of progress, but at the same time, they face problems of congestion and inequality. International migration. The second form is international migration, which involves crossing one or more national borders. This is the form most associated with term global migration. It includes both people who migrate illegally, such as workers with contract or students with visas, and those who move irregularly without authorization. Internal migrations connects more countries through labor, trade, and culture. It is driven by global inequalities in income, education, and stability. A well-known example is the Filipino diaspora. Millions of overseas Filipino workers who are employed across more than 200 countries, according to the Department of Migrant Workers. About 1.8 million Filipino workers were working overseas in 2022, mostly in the Middle East and Asia Pacific region. The remittances support their families and sustain local economies back home. Internal migration also includes the movement of highly skilled professionals, such as doctors, engineers, and teachers, as well as students pursuing higher education abroad. At the same time, it includes refugees and asylum seekers who flee their countries due to danger and persecution. While international migration fosters cultural exchange and cooperation, it also poses challenges such as border management, integration policies, and social discrimination. Government must constantly balance the economic benefits of migration with social cohesion and national identity. And number three is voluntary migration. Voluntary migration refers to the movement of people who choose to relocate based on personal and economic reasons. This decision is made freely, true, though it is often influenced by broader conditions such as job markets or political stability. Common examples of voluntary migration includes professional seeking better job opportunity abroad, entrepreneurs expanding their business in new markets, or students enrolling in international universities. For instances, thousands of Filipino nurses and caregivers voluntarily migrate to the United Kingdom, Canada, and Germany, attracted by higher and professional growth. In return, they provide essential services to aging populations in those countries. Voluntary migration is often associated with brain circulation, a modern term describing how migrants can transfer knowledge between their home and host countries. Unlike the older idea of brain drain, this newer view emphasizes that migration can lead to mutual benefits if migrants maintain ties and bring expertise back home. However, voluntary migration can still create social issues such as family separation and the loss of skilled labor domestically. Number four is forced migration. In contrast, forced migration occurs when people have no real choice but to leave their homes. This may result from war, ethnic persecution, natural disasters, or human violations. According to the UN Refugee Agency, by the end of 2020, over 110 million people worldwide were forcibly displaced from their homes, the highest number in history. Example includes the mass displacement of Syria since 2011, the Rohingya refugees from Myanmar, and Ukrainians fleeing the 2022 Russian invasion. Forced migration is considered a humanitarian crisis as displaced persons often live in temporary camps with limited access to food, education, and healthcare. The international community responds through refugees conventions and humanitarian aid, but political divisions and limited resources make it difficult to address the root of cause. Forced migration demonstrates how global instability directly impacts human lives, and it reminds us that not all migration is a matter of choice. Temporary migration. Another significant form is temporary migration, which involves short-term relocation. Migrants in this category stay in a foreign country for a specific period, usually for work or study, before returning home. Typical example includes contract-based overseas Filipino workers in the Middle East, seafarers, and students participating in exchange programs. Although their stay is temporary, the impact is long-lasting. Temporary migrants contribute labor and send home remittances, while also gaining international experience that benefits their family and community. However, temporary migration can become semi-permanent when contracts are extended or when migrants settle abroad or finding new opportunities. This shows how migration patterns often evolve unpredictably over time. Finally, permanent migration. Permanent migration refers to movement intent to last indefinitely. Individuals or families migrate to settle permanently, often acquiring residency or citizenship in their destination country. Common destinations for permanent Filipino migrants include Canada, Australia, and the United States. In these countries, migrants enjoy to access education, healthcare, and social welfare programs while contributing to the workforce and economy. Permanent migration can benefit both origin and destination nations through remittances, investments, and cultural diversity. However, it may also lead to demographic shifts such as declining populations in the home country or pressure on social services in the host country. Additional classification. Migration can also be classified in other ways. Legal and irregular migration. Legal migration possesses proper documentation such as visas or work permits, while irregular migrants do not. Irregular migration can lead to exploitation, human trafficking, or deportation. Seasonal migration, common in agriculture, where workers move according to harvest periods. Return migration, when individuals come back to their country of origin after working a living or living abroad. Each form of migration has distinct causes, patterns, and effects. Policymakers and international organizations use this classification to design strategies that promote safe, orderly, and regular migration. To summarize, migration can be internal and international, voluntary or forced, temporary or permanent. Each type has unique implications for individuals, families, and nations. Understanding these distinctions help us migration not simply as movement, but as a complex process influenced by economics, politics, and human aspirations. The diversity of migration reflects the diversity of human life itself. People move for countless reasons, but the underlying motivations remain the same: the search for a better and more secure future. Now that we have identified the types of migration, let us move on the next section, which explores why people migrate. Manato will discuss the cause of migration, the push and pull factors that drive people to move across regions and countries.
Now that we've discussed the different types of migrations, let us move on to one of the most important questions in understanding this phenomenon. Why do people migrate? Migration, as we have seen, is not a random event. Every movement of people with a voluntary efforts, internally or internationally, is motivated by a combination of factors that push individuals away from the origin and pull them towards another destination. These are what scholars call the push and pull factors of migrations. Push and pull framework. Push factors refer to the negative conditions that compel people to leave their homeland. These include poverty, lack of job opportunities, political instability, poor governance, conflict, and environmental disasters. On the other hand, pull factors are the positive attractions that draw people towards a new country or region, such as higher wages, safety, better educations, improved living standards, and the presence of relatives abroad. This concept was formalized by Everett in 1966, who argued that migration occurs when the push or forces of one phase outweigh the full advantages of another. While the framework is simple, it remains widely used because it captures the essential motivations behind migration, which is the people move in search of better lives. Number one causes of migration is economic factors. Among all possible causes, economic factors remain the most powerful driver of migrations. Economic migration happens when people move to improve their standards of living and income. Differences in employment rates, wage levels, and cost of living between countries or regions creates a constant flows of labor across borders. For instance, many Filipino workers migrate to the Middle East, Europe, and or East Asia because of their salaries and their more stable employment opportunities. The Philippine Statistics Authority and the PSA reported that around 1.83 million Filipinos were working overseas in 2022, sending home 214 billion pesos in remittances in just the first half of the year. Those these remittances are not only lifelines for individual families but also vital for national economic growth, accounting for nearly 9% of the Philippine GDP. Globally, the World Bank on 2023 estimated that international remittances reached $860 billion to the developing countries, receiving the largest share. This demonstrates how labor migration has become an integral part of global capitalism, connecting workers to poorer regions, to economies that demand labor. However, while migration offers financial opportunities, it also exposes economic inequalities between nations. Migrant workers often accept lower paying jobs abroad due to limited prospects at home. The push of poverty and unemployment in one country pairs with the pull of higher wages in another, maintaining a constant cycle of migration. So the number two causes of migration is social and cultural factors. Another major category of migration causes involves social and cultural factors. People migrate to join family members, pursue educations, or seek new cultural experiences. Family reunification is one of the most common motivations in many countries. Migration laws allow citizens or permanent residents to sponsor relatives, for example, Filipinos immigrants in the United States or Canada often petition their spouses, children, or parents join them, creating extended transnational families. Education is also a significant factor. Thousands of international students leave their home countries each year to study in developed nations like the US, Japan, Australia, and the UK. They are motivated by the availability of higher quality education, better research facilities, and international exposure. After graduation, many stay to work or settle permanently, contributing to what scholars call brain circulation, the global exchange of knowledge and talent. Additionally, social networks play a powerful role in migration decisions. When relatives or friends already live abroad, potential migrants are more likely to follow because they have existing support systems. So the number three causes of migration is political factors. Migration is also shaped by political circumstances. People flee their countries with their safety, rights, or freedom are threatened. Political instability, corruptions, poor governance, and war are among the strongest push factors. Examples include the mass displacement of Syrians in 2011 due to the civil war, the fight of Rohingya refugees from Myanmar, and the recent Ukrainian refugee crisis. So the number four causes of migration is the environmental factors. In recent decades, environmental has become a significant cause of migration. Environmental migration occurs when the people are forced to leave their homes because of natural disasters, climate change, or resource depletion. The World Bank's Groundswell report in 2021 predicts that by 2050, more than 200 million people could become climate migrants if current trends continue. Rising sea levels, droughts, and extreme weather events threaten livelihoods, especially in vulnerable regions like South and Southeast Asia. For example, many residents of small island nations such as Tuvalu and the Maldives face the possibility of becoming stateless as their homelands quickly meet rising seas. In the Philippines, typhoons and floods frequently displace thousands of families every year, prompting both temporary and permanent internal migrations. So the number five causes of migration is technological and globalization factors. Technological development and globalization also make migration easier and more appealing. Affordable air travel, online recruitment platforms, and digital remittances services have revolutionized how people plan and sustain migration. The internet connects potential migrants with opportunities abroad, while social media platforms provide emotional support and real-time information. At the same time, globalization has intensified global labor demand. The need for healthcare workers, engineers, and service employees in developed countries frequently draws people from less developed regions. This interconnectedness will makes migration a normal part of economic and social life. However, it also reinforces global inequalities when skilled workers may benefit from international opportunities, and skilled migrants often face exploitation and discrimination. So number six is personal and psychological factors. Finally, migration can also stem from personal motivation, the desire of adventure, independence, or better quality of life. Some individuals simply wish to explore new cultures and experience different lifestyles. Young professionals, for example, may relocate to cosmopolitan cities such as Singapore, Tokyo, or London, attracted by compromise or career growth with cultural diversity. These personal choices, though individual, collectively contribute to the larger pattern of global migrations. In summary, migration results from a complex interplay of factors: economic, social, political, environmental, technological, and personal. It is rarely caused by a single issue. Rather, it reflects the multiple dimensions of human life in globalized world. People move because they move for stability, opportunity, and security. Things that all humans value. As such, migration should be not seen merely as a problem, but response to global imbalances in human aspirations. Understanding this process helps policymakers and societies create systems that protect migrants' rights, promote fair opportunities, and minimize forced displacement. Now that we've discussed the reasons behind migrations, the task will explain its effects, both positive and negative consequences that migrations brings to individuals, communities, and nations.
Thank you, Manato. After learning the reasons why people move to other countries, we now look at how migration affects individuals and nations. Migration brings both good and bad results, and its impact can be seen at the local, national, and global level. The number one effects is effects on the country or the origin country. One of the biggest advantage for the home country is remittances, or the money sent by migrants to their families. In 2023, this reached around $860 billion, helping families pay for school, healthcare, and daily needs. In the Philippines, remittances make up about 9% of the GDP, giving many families the chance to improve their lives. Sorry po. Migration also helps reduce unemployment since there are fewer job, fewer people competing for their jobs. However, migration can cause brain drain, where skilled workers like nurses, engineers, and teachers leave the country. This creates a shortage of professionals. Families may also struggle emotionally when their parents work abroad for long periods. The second effect is effect on the host country. Destination countries benefit because migrants fill important job shortage, especially in healthcare, construction, and household services. They also bring new ideas and help with innovation, but challenges can occur such as cultural misunderstandings, discrimination, or pressure on housing, schools, and healthcare services. Host country need good policies to help migrants adjust and be treated fairly. The third effect is effects on migrants and families. Migrants often gain higher income, new skills, and personal growth. However, many people feel homesick or lonely, and some experience discrimination. Families left behind may have financial support, but they miss the presence and care of their loved ones. The last effect is global effects. Migration helps balance workforces, support economic growth, and promote cultural exchange around the world. But it also brings issues related to border security, human rights, and international cooperation. To sum it up, migration has both positive and negative effects. It improves economies and encourage cultural understanding, but it can also lead to brain drain and family separation. Fair and balanced policies are needed to ensure migration benefits everyone. Up next, Valenzuela will explain how migration and globalization are connected.
Hello, hello. Thank you, Dastas. At this point, we will explore the relationship between migration and globalization. These two phenomena are deeply connected, forming a continuous cycle that shapes today's interconnected world. So, for number one, understanding globalization in the context of migration. Globalization refers to the increasing interconnectedness of countries through trade, communication, culture, and technology. Migration is one of its visible expressions. As people move, they carry skills, culture, and ideas that link societies together. Globalization has made migration easier than ever. With cheaper air travel, digital communication, and global markets, individuals can explore opportunities across borders. In turn, migration reinforces globalization by spreading people, knowledge, and values internationally. A clear example is how the demand for healthcare workers in Europe and the Middle East is met by nurses from the Philippines. This global labor exchange demonstrates how migration supports economic globalizations. So up next is economic linkages. Economically, migration fuels globalization by connecting labor markets. Companies hire workers globally and remittances flow across continents. This transfer of money and skills strengthens international economic ties. For developing countries, remittances provide capital for investment and consumption. For developed countries, migrant labor sustains industries facing labor shortages. However, globalization also produces inequality. High-income nations often attract skilled workers, leading to brain drain in poorer countries. To address this, international organizations promote ethical recruitment and circular migration, where skills eventually return home. So now the next is the cultural interchange. Migration is also a cultural force within globalization. As people settle abroad, they share traditions, food, music, and values. This results in multiculturalism, defining feature of global cities like New York, London, and Singapore. Through migration, globalization becomes more humanized. It's not only about trade and technology, but also relationships, tolerance, and identity. However, cultural blending can also bring challenges such as prejudice and the loss of traditional customs. Global citizenship, the idea that individuals belong to a shared global community, is strengthened by migration. People become more aware of global issues such as climate change, human rights, and international cooperation. So, moving on to political and social dimensions. Globalization has made migration a political issue. Governments must balance economic benefits with social stability and border control. The rise of anti-immigrant sentiment in some regions shows how globalization can also provoke fear and divisions. International cooperation is therefore essential. Institutions such as International Organization for Migration and the United Nations promote safe, orderly, and regular migration. These global efforts align with the Sustainable Development Goals, which aim to reduce inequality through managed migration. So for the last is technology and communication. Technology has revolutionized both migration and globalization. Social media connects migrants to families and communicates in real time. Online job applications, digital remittances, and global work from home arrangements have made migration more flexible and inclusive. Technology also helps migrants maintain dual identities, belonging to both their home and host countries. This dual connection reinforces global interdependence and shapes how people view belonging in a globalized era. So, to sum up, migration and globalization are inseparable. Globalization facilitates migration through open borders and technology, while migration sustains globalization by linking economies and cultures. Together, they define the modern world, one that is connected yet challenged by inequality and cultural diversity. Now that we have explored the relationship, Malyari will present the current global trends in migration, and provide our conclusion in this presentation. So, Malyari.
Thank you, Valenzuela. As we come to the final part of discussion, let us take a closer look of globalization migration trend and what they means for the future. Number 1, current global migration pattern. According to the International Organization for Migration, 2023 report there are 281 million international migrants worldwide. Truly, 3.6% of globalization population, this number continues to rise each year. Migration patterns have become more diverse and complex. Historically, most migration occurred from the global south to the global north. For instance, for Asia and Africa to Europe and North America. Today, there is a noticeable increase in south-south migration, where people move between developing countries, as from Nepal to Malaysia or from Indonesia to the Gulf state. The largest migration corridor include first, Mexico to United States. Second, India to the Gulf Cooperation Council country. Third, the Philippines to the Middle East and Asia Pacific region. This route illustrates how migration flow reflect both economic opportunity and historical ties. Number 2, emerging trend. One emerging trend is a visual migration where their worker contribute for foreign economic remotely thanks to the digital technology. Technology a remote job allow profession in developing countries to work for company abroad without physical relocating. Another important trend is climate migration, which, which is becoming more common as a global warming intensify. People from coastal and agriculture region are increasingly displaced by rising seas or typhoon. Additional student migration continues to grow UNESCO report that over 6 million international students are currently enrolled in foreign universities. Number 3, challenge. Despite this opportunity, migration face major challenge. First, irregu- irregular migration and human trafficking. Second, xenophobia and discrimination in host countries. Third, brain drain from developing nations. Fourth, legal and documentation barrier that make migration risky. To address this, the Global Compact for Migration, adopted by the United Nations, outlined principles for managing migration safely and ethically. Number 4, the future of migration. The future of migration will depend on global cooperation, technological innovation, and environment action. Countries must strike a balance between protecting border and upholding human dignity. Education, diplomacy, and fair labor policies will be key in ensuring migration remain a force for development rather than division. Migration will continue to shape the 21st century not as a crisis but as a cornerstone of globalization and human progress. Conclusion. In conclusion, global migration is not just about movement, it is about connection, transformation, and resilience. It reveals the shape, hope, and strength of humanity in an interconnected world. Through this presentation, we have learned that migration, first, comes in many forms. Second, is driven by numerous factors. Third, produce both opportunities and challenge. Fourth, and plays a central role in globalization and world development. Migration reflect who we are, a species constantly in motion, searching for better live and brighter future. Thank you for watching and listening this video. We are group 4 from ME11S1. And this conclude our presentation on globalization migration.